Activities in Yaoundé, as you tell us, Cynthia Saptala, in the following report.
A 2-month holiday with children at home and parents now tasked with finding ways of occupying them. In Yaoundé, experts on the subject say there are a variety of options to propose. For example, yoga for kids is one of the newest trends, something to help channel the energy.
Yoga in general is good for child development because it helps with memory. They will learn certain poses that will help them if they are stressed, if they are anxious.
And then there is judo, the modern Japanese martial arts that instills in kids self-esteem, self-discipline, self-respect, and courtesy towards others. For those in search of activities to cultivate artistic senses, like the 8-year-old Daniela playing piano, there are singing and violin classes for the little ones, guitar and drums for future percussionists. Recreational activities like these are also being organized in churches.
We teach them catechism and all that happens in church, in addition to fun and learning hobbies like computer and other crafts.
Most instructors urge parents to indulge in any of these options, something fun to do before schools resume with mental and physical benefits.
We now take you over to the West region, where a refresher course on how to recycle plastic waste into valuable treasures of arts is underway in Bafoussam. It is taking place under a holiday program that has been organized by the Women in Arts Association. The bottom line of the program is to start grooming children to start understanding how to protect the planet. Chetembuk reports from Crtv West in Bafoussam.
In a bid to conserve a sustainable community, the aim of this capacity-building workshop is to involve community participation in nature protection through kits and to grow a younger community of artists and crafters who are more environmentally conscious.
They use for snake that people have to pick from gutters. So, from this pipe, you transform the pipe into this. Yes. So that means in the morning, you don't look for your socks. Your socks is here. Your singlets are here. Your pants are here. You know, everything about you is inside. You just get up in the morning, you just open up and you know that you can find them inside.
Through this workshop, children from all groups, including IDPs, are taught how to reuse unwanted items to create double art.
If the light was on, the light is going to light. And the colors from here gives a complete different transformation in the house.
The program, organized by WAPCAM, promotes waste management, women's protection, and safe environments.
And as you all know, Cameroon is endowed with tourist sites, and Crtv in the south region replaces a good number of the finest touristic leisure and natural endowment features that Cameroon can boast of. In the first of our series to exhibit the country's rich potential, we take you to discover the marvels of natural and man-made spots where thousands of tourists scramble on a daily basis for pleasure and other reasons. The sea, its beaches, the cuisine, and above all, the mythic Lobe Falls on the verge of becoming a UNESCO heritage push the tourists to unexpectedly extend their stay in the resort city without questioning the cost. Serene Nwazike is our guide.
Indeed, welcome to Crtv. It is holidays. Think about your puppy as well when you come and join. For the yet to be married, you could change your wedding venue after seeing this partial decoration at the beach side. The beautiful sandy beaches in the resort city offer a pleasurable cause for your holidays.
I'm from Douala. I'm very happy to be here. I'm discovered that Crtv is a good place.
From the Ngoye beach at the entrance of the town of Crtv, the sea breeze lures you to an unforgettable stay here. Roughly 4 to 5 kilometers from the town of Crtv, you have the mythic Lobe waterfalls, a natural endowment found nowhere else than in Cameroon.
I've been many places, in lots of beaches like in Valencia, but actually Cameroon have never ever enjoyed it, and this time I really decided to really enjoy.
At this site, visitors enjoy a whole lot of entertaining activities. The smoke from this cuisine says it all.
I like to drink coconut. I like to eat Crtv fish.
My first time to get on a boat actually too, so it was really good.
At night, it is a different story. Why not come see it for yourself? The scramble for this tourist El Dorado to be is the price the Crtv man has to pay for the gift of nature.
In fact, a gift of nature, Sirene Nwazeke, and a place to visit as well. A new company, China Railway Company, has been selected to realize the Ntui-Mankim Road in the Center region. This follows the cancellation of the first contract with the company in October 2019 due to a non-respect of contracting terms. The new company has been given 24 months by the Ministry of Public Works to complete the project. Joyce Kimbi Fawaju was on the Ntui-Mankim Road today and says the state of the road is a nightmare to its users.
A veritable nightmare, braving the bad roads and swimming in mud on the Ntui-Mankim Road. After a long wait by the population, the China Railway Company will be in charge of the execution of the works on the Ntui-Mankim 96.7 kilometers road long. Locals are flattered by the news.
We have spent 5 hours from Yoko to Ntui. The road is very bad, but with what the state is doing, we are happy. From Tibati to Yoko, we have taken 2 hours. From Yoko to Ntui, we have done 5 hours. It is terrible. We have hope as work will resume.
This comes after the termination of the first contract in 2019 with the Evolution Company that did not respect the contract. To make up the deadlines already consumed, the takeover company has partitioned the lot into 2 sections. The first from Twin to Njole, stretching over 60 kilometers long, and the second from Njole to Mankim, covering a distance of 37.7 kilometers long. The deadline to completion is 24 months.
Should parliamentarians execute public contracts? This question has divided public opinion despite the fact that the legislature has made provisions on the subject. Our talk of the day for tonight's news now examines what is considered by some Cameroonians as a polemic as members of parliament get involved with contracts. Constantine Baum has been speaking with some city dwellers and experts on whether or not parliamentarians should own business in his report.
The constitution of the country has empowered these MPs to make laws and hold the government to account for its policies, actions and spending. A rule that most Cameroonians are okay with, but have a worry with MPs who are today executing public contracts.
It will be difficult to him to control the person who give him public contracts. That 2 positions are incompatible.
They are there to control the action of the government. They don't want influence of the member of parliament to own the contract.
They are not supposed to be found doing businesses or cajoling government for all other things. They have a lot on their table to handle.
The views of an anthropologist contrast that of a common man.
Will he stop his business? How will he survive? Because he needs to prepare for the next election. Some of them even go bankrupt because of parliamentary business. There is no law, to the best of my knowledge, that stops a parliamentarian from doing business. They are allowed, and that is why they are involved in public contracts.
Legal experts say Article 162 of the Electoral Code addresses the issue.
A parliamentarian can own a company which is a purely private company, and that company can contest or win public contract and execute. So the response is simple: a parliamentarian is free to execute public contracts.
To the expert, the public should be questioning the quality of work done by any such MP as stipulated by the contract.
The Chinese ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Wang Jingwu, has pledged his country's commitment to continue supporting water and energy projects in Cameroon. This was at an audience granted him by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Jibril. Both officials equally reviewed the progress of the construction of the National Assembly headquarters sponsored by China. Esther Kmer has the details.
50 years of mutual trust in cooperation ties for Cameroon and China, the partnership is getting even better with new priorities set. The Chinese ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Wang Jingwu, reassures the House Speaker, the Right Honorable Jibril, of the volition to accompany the country in major projects to better livelihoods. After investing in the health, road infrastructure and sports sectors, China is exploring new horizons.
Concerning portable water, we have reiterated China's support. The first phase has been completed with the construction of the water factory in Douala. We have now begun works on the supply unit in Sanaga Yaoundé. These projects will address the water shortage in 9 cities in Cameroon. In energy supply, we are working on the Beni-Awarak Dam.
Work is equally advancing satisfactorily on the 55 billion CFA franc edifice to host Cameroon's National Assembly, built by the China Urban Construction Group.
The French ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Christophe Guilou, has been received in audience today by the chairman of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, Peter Mafani Musonge. The discussions focused, among others, on the situation of hate speech in Cameroon. Here's an excerpt of the French ambassador after the audience.
It's a subject that concerns French authorities in France, and that's why it was very interesting to have the analysis of the President, the Vice President, the Secretary General on this phenomenon that is growing, and we considered that we need to reinforce cooperation between member states around the world to address this subject that concerns all of us, and especially the young generation, because we consider that they mainly victims of it.
The Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Achille Basile-Kintroa, has today opened the Cooperation and Partnership Day to run from July the 12th to the 14th, 2021 at the Yaoundé Conference Center. The initiative is aimed at examining all national and foreign technical and financial actors and seeks to strengthen the contribution of SMEs in the production of national wealth. Ewane Epole has more.
In a bid to assemble technical and financial partners, the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft is organizing its very first edition of the Cooperation and Partnership Days, holding at the Yaoundé Conference Center.
In terms of technical resources, there is need to put in place some additional programs that will help increasing the productive capacities, but also to modernize our enterprises.
Stakeholders taking part in the forum are key players in supporting government's efforts to achieve its development objectives in the SME sector.
With the pandemic of COVID-19, a number of the sectors that were affected were in this category of enterprises. Together with the United Nations, we are programming support to make sure that we're able to reach out to these sectors of the economy that are actually the engines.
The Cooperation and Partnership Days entails thematic workshops, business-to-business meetings, and fruitful exchanges with the goal of understanding the opportunities and constraints of cooperation in order to lay the groundwork for the improvement of the SME sector in Cameroon.
Over 167 youths in the Adamawa region have benefited from the 3-year special youth plan in the past 5 years. The project aims at enhancing civic education, social and economic integration of young people. Our Adamawa regional correspondent, Rikiatu Musa Jingi, now presents 2 beneficiaries who have distinguished themselves in the region.
The Special Youth Triennial Plan has improved on products and services rendered by many youth in the Adamawa who received financial aid from the program. One of them is Christian Pokonou, who is making great strides in aluminium and glass business.
I benefited from the Minjek support in 2020. It has helped me to restructure my enterprise and to recruit workers. It helped to improve myself to have more contact than before. Now I can deliver my work on time because the materials are available. When people contact me now, they leave satisfied.
Another youth who has remarkably distinguished himself from the beneficiaries is Blaise Bessuire, a poultry farmer whose table birds are of high demand in the Vina division.
I am specialized in poultry farming. I have chickens of 21 days, 45 days and curled chicken. I used to have about 100 chickens that I managed to rear unprofessionally, just for the home consumption and buyers in the neighborhoods. But thanks to the financial support, production has scaled up. I am my own boss. and employ others.
Though poultry farming, aluminium and glass and other related businesses are not very common to Adamawa youth who will prefer cattle rearing, many hope that with support from the Special Youth Triennial Plan, more young entrepreneurs will emerge.
Malaria remains one of the leading causes of death in African countries. The World Health Organization estimates the number of malaria deaths to be 409,000 in 2019, with over 90% coming from the African continent. In Cameroon, for example, the National Malaria Control Program today met with the Civil Society for Malaria Elimination to address the situation in the country, which is still preoccupying despite government's efforts. Here's an excerpt of the Permanent Secretary of the National Malaria Control Program, Dr. Joel Ateba.
Somewhere we can be together, all the actors of the malaria struggle, so that we can achieve our objectives of fighting against malaria. Now it should not only be the affair of Ministry of Public Health, it should also be people of the other sectors.
To reinforce advocacy for malaria elimination to be a reality in the country, to invest in research so that we can have a malaria vaccine. Malaria activities are only 50% funded from the strategic plan, so there's a need to ensure that all the communities have access to mosquito net, have access to rapid diagnostic tests.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Cameroonians have been advised by virologists that they should continue respecting barrier measures against the COVID-19, given that there is a new COVID-19 variant called Delta. This virus is already circulating in some African countries like the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Nigeria. How is the variant dangerous compared to the others? Baldwin Sama and his guest, Dr. Joseph Fokam, are at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center to give us some clarification. Hello, Baldwin. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Gladys Tata. It's a disturbing situation, knowing very well that this new variant for the virus, we're talking about the Delta variant, that's already in some neighboring countries. More and more Cameroonians get scared whether the virus is already in Cameroon. Tonight, with our guest, Dr. Joseph Fokam, we are going to find out whether or not the Delta variant is already in the country. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Baldwin.
Tell us more about this Delta variant and whether or not it's already in Cameroon.
Effectively, Baldwin, the Delta variant actually is the most deadly strains of COVID-19. And why? Because this Delta variant has 60% more transmissibility as compared to the British variant, which was already 50% more dangerous as compared to the original strain from China. So actually in Africa and in the whole world, this variant is doing a widespread. And as a matter of fact, actually, neighboring countries like Gabon, like Central African Republic, and even Democratic Republic of Congo have seen this variant already in their context. And recently, last week, Nigeria also found this variant circulating already. So Cameroon seems to be surrounded by this high-risk country. So it is high time for us to really implement strict surveillance within our borders. Then making sure also in the country we should stick to the barrier measures, making sure we can maintain this 2% positivity rate, which is quite low, and which might also spare us from a third wave.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Fokam, for all those explanations. The most deadly strain for the coronavirus, the Delta variant, is from neighboring countries. Fortunately for us, it is not yet in Cameroon. We simply have to continue respecting these different outline barrier measures to avoid a possibility where we will have these variants in Cameroon. Back to you, Gladys Tata.
Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama, and see you tomorrow. And we take you over to the littoral region, where forest experts from member countries of the Congo Basin, plus representatives of member countries and partner organizations, are currently meeting in Douala to evaluate reports from 2019 till date. And they are equally taking actions to stem up the spread of zoonotic diseases. We have details from Leonis Lani Epote from Crtv Littoral in Douala.
Zoonosis is an infectious disease transmitted by animals to humans. This is still a preoccupying issue for actors in the forestry sector, as the world fights to contain one of such diseases, which is the coronavirus. These come together, therefore, has as objective to tackle the challenges of zoonotic diseases.
What we are seeing as coronavirus, the COVID-19, is a zoonotic disease which has come from animal to human beings. It is worse if there is a reverse zoonosis. Reverse zoonosis is where the same disease starts getting back to the animals from the human beings. They are not respect of borders. We have to come up with the mechanisms of ensuring that the same standards apply all across.
Experts during this 9th edition of Directors of the Program Sustainable Management of the Congo Basin will touch issues of deforestation, animal poaching, fight against illicit trade of rare animal species, security at the Congo Basin, and the strengthening of the ecosystem.
To evaluate what has been done so far since 2019 and to put in place
Members of the General Assembly of the Cameroon Football Governing Board Federation will meet in a General Assembly this Tuesday to adopt new texts for the federation that will pave the way for the election of a new executive bureau at the helm of the football body. Prior to tomorrow's General Assembly, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education has informed Fcfa to withhold the General Assembly given the violation of certain texts. Today, FIFA and CAF have given their go-ahead for tomorrow's General Assembly, calling on Fcfa to organize. Baldwin Sama in the following report narrates the circumstances leading to this General Assembly.
Act 1, Scene 1 of the Mickey Mouse game leading to Tuesday's General Assembly of the Cameroon Football Federation started with this letter issued by the Minister of Sports and Physical Education to the Cameroon Football Federation, calling on them to avoid holding the General Assembly due to the non-respect of the law, Fcfa text, and the decision of the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Scene 2 came in with this reply from the Cameroon Football Federation to the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, reminding him of the strict respect of the texts and resolutions of the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Monday, July 12, the Divisional Officer of Yaoundé 2 signed a release prohibiting any holding of a Fcfa's General Assembly this Tuesday due to the non-respect of the law. Few hours later, this release, jointly signed by the Secretary General of the Confederation of African Football, Veron Mosengo, and the Secretary General of FIFA, Fatma Samoura, giving a go-ahead to the present Fcfa Executive Bureau to hold its General Assembly that falls in line with the strict respect of the decision of the Court of Arbitration for Sports. After this release, a second letter by the Divisional Officer of Yaoundé 2 is signed, disregarding the previous, this time permitting Fcfa to hold its General Assembly this Tuesday. A persistent tussle it has been, with football pundits seeing this as the start of a 90-minute football encounter.
A real football saga, Baldwin. And it is here how we conclude this edition of the 7:30 News. Thanks.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.